I'm Eric Edholm with NFL Media, and it's Power Ranking time. A month into the 2025 NFL season, chaos has reigned. Week 4 delivered more madness, so we did our best to crunch the numbers and deliver you the best Week 5 power rankings in the NFL. Without further ado, at number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles keep vanishing for half a game, but still find a way to win, and they did so Sunday, showing grit in Tampa's heat. Despite 5 second-half 3-and-outs and some sloppy penalties, their defense made clutch plays. Maybe not the most sure-footed number 1 in the rankings history, but who else can boast 20 wins in the last 21 games? Philly stays on top. At number 2, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills look sloppy post-mini-bye with 11 penalties and missed tackles. Josh Allen and James Cook refused to lose, but third down struggles did persist. Buffalo's eyeing a 6-0 start before the bye. They've got plenty to clean up to keep stacking wins. At number 3, the Detroit Lions. They weren't explosive against Cleveland, held in check offensively for the second time in 4 games. 5 penalties hurt, but their defense and special teams stepped up in a win over Cleveland. Detroit's got screws to tighten before tougher tests arise. At number 4, way up, the Los Angeles Rams. Puka Nacua shredded the Colts for 170 yards and a crucial score, while Matthew Stafford's late strike to Tutu Atwell sealed the comeback victory. Third down woes do linger, but the Rams showed playoff-type grit in a thrilling victory. At number 5, also way up in the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks. Jackson Smith-Njigba was held quiet for 3 quarters on Thursday, but came up with big catches and a late road win at Arizona. Sam Darnold diced up the Cardinals, and Seattle's 3 straight wins have them rolling, even as a tougher schedule looms. Number 6, staying put, the Green Bay Packers. Well, they got a tie in Dallas, and that 2-1-1 start feels like a bit of a letdown after the early hype. 2 blown fourth-quarter leads in a loss and a tie sting. The offense hummed in Dallas, but the defense struggled. Now the offensive line needs to heal during the bye to avoid further stumbles. At number 7, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They fought hard despite a block punt TD and costly fumbles, but Baker Mayfield couldn't work his magic late to tie it against Philly. The special teams really faltered again, but if Tampa stays healthy into the bye week, they could be a dangerous playoff contender down the road. Number 8, LA Chargers. Losing to the Giants really hurt, but Joe Alt's injury could sting even worse. The Chargers couldn't protect Justin Herbert, racking up 14 penalties, and he had 2 picks himself. A late push fizzled. Now they might need some outside help on the offensive line to keep their season on track. At number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs up again. Xavier Worthy's return sparked the Chiefs' offense as he averaged 17.3 yards per touch. The run game also clicked, and Chris Jones dominated defensively after attending his aunt's funeral in Mississippi. At 2-0, Kansas City is not out of the woods, but they're proving they're still a force. Number 10, the Indianapolis Colts. Their loss to the Rams was marred by costly mistakes, the likes of which we haven't seen all season at this point. Adonai Mitchell's fumble and a holding call both took TDs off the board. Absolutely brutal. Pass rush did show some life, but the secondary struggled. Indy may look playoff caliber, but Sunday was a tough day. Number 11, the Washington Commanders. Without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, the Commanders' offense struggled in Atlanta. The defense allowed 10 big plays and couldn't spark a comeback. At 0-2 now on the road, Washington needs to sharpen up with 3 of their next 4 away from home. Number 12, the Denver Broncos. They smashed the Bengals, controlling the game after a slow start and some self-inflicted wounds. Bo Nix threw a costly pick, but the run game did show some real promise. Denver's defense clamped down, and Nick Bonito's sack streak continues. Big plays defensively have been lacking, but that was a solid victory on Monday night. Number 13, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They forced another 4 turnovers. That's at least 3 in every single game, and they added a punt return touchdown by Parker Washington to help seal a gritty win in Santa Clara. Injuries are adding up on defense, though, and the pass game needs to step up to keep this team firmly in the playoff picture. At number 14, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They survived a late Vikings rally, holding on for victory in Ireland. 7 sacks and 2 picks showed some defensive strides, while Kenneth Gainwell filled in admirably. Pittsburgh's good, but just how good remains the question. That's why they're sitting at number 14. Also at 3-1, the number 15 San Francisco 49ers. Their loss to Jacksonville was messy. -4 turnovers and an 87-yard punt return allowed. Brock Purdy threw 2 picks and fumbled, and the run game sputtered. Still 3-1, but injuries and a short week raised some serious concerns. Speaking of concerns, number 16, the Baltimore Ravens. What is going on in Baltimore? The Ravens hit rock bottom at 1-3 with Lamar Jackson, one of many injured Ravens. Jackson had multiple turnovers and the pass protection collapsed in a big loss in Kansas City. The defense is porous and they're getting less healthy on that side of the ball. Baltimore might be in deep trouble all of a sudden. Number 17, the Minnesota Vikings. Their offensive line is a mess. Carson Wentz taking 6 sacks in Ireland. He rallied with 2 late touchdowns, but they didn't have enough to pull off the win. Facing Cleveland's fierce defense in England next, Minnesota's line's got to hold up better to avoid disaster. Number 18, the Chicago Bears. They hit the bye at 2-2 after a thrilling field goal block to beat the Raiders in Vegas. Even with the offense struggling at times in the red zone and the Bears needing to switch up the offensive line mid-game, Caleb Williams made plays in crunch time. Number 19, the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison finally clicked for a touchdown on Thursday night, but the consistency has been severely lacking at times. The offense sputtered against the Seahawks, and the defense's special teams aren't helping enough. Without James Conner, Arizona faces a tough road to the bye week. Let's see if they can get there in decent shape. Number 20, up a little bit, the Atlanta Falcons. They bounced back from the shutout loss with Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons' offensive stars shining against Washington. Coaching tweaks paid off last week, but the run defense did leak a little. Atlanta's still a mixed bag in some respects, but this win showed more promise than pain. Number 21, the Houston Texans. The Texans' defense was again stellar, and the offense finally woke up late against Tennessee. Woody Marks sparked the run game and scored, offering some more hope for that ground attack. Houston needs more scoring chances, but they grabbed a must-have win to stay alive at 1-3. Dallas Cowboys at 1-2-1. They tied the Packers without several key players, and they held Micah Parsons relatively in check in his return to Dallas. Dak Prescott was incredible. George Pickens, too. They led a 436-yard offensive explosion. Some blown coverages on defense hurt, but Dallas showed fight and faces some winnable games ahead. Number 23, up a bit, the New England Patriots. They dominated Carolina after a slow start in the game. Sparked by Marcus Jones' punt return touchdown, he almost broke another one later. Drake May and the offense exploded for several big plays, and the defense rallied. Next week, May versus Josh Allen could be the clash we're looking to watch. 24, the Cincinnati Bengals way down. They collapsed after a decent start in the game at Denver. Ignoring T. Higgins, ignoring Jamar Chase, Jake Browning struggled. That's now 55-6. They've been outscored in 2 first halves the last 2 games. They're 2-2, but fading fast. Number 25, the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco now has 6 picks and 2 fumbles lost in 4 games, and the Browns are at 1-3. The defense looks elite, but the offense remains stagnant. Dylan Gabriel might be an option, but either way, Cleveland needs to get its skill players involved to avoid a deeper hole. Number 26, the New York Giants. Jackson Dart sparked the Giants to a big win, flashing some impressive athleticism against the Chargers. But Malik Neighbors' torn ACL soured the win on Sunday. The Giants hope to build on this in New Orleans, and they've got a fierce defense that racked up 20 pressures on Sunday against the Chargers. Schedule does get brutal after that, but there is some hope. Number 27, the Carolina Panthers. They started pretty well in New England, but imploded with missed kicks, poor punt coverage, and offensive struggles. Bryce Young faced heavy pressure and couldn't connect with Ted McMillan consistently. After a shutout win, this was a major step backward. At number 28, the Raiders. Ashton Jennings' 138 yards and 3 touchdowns weren't enough as the Raiders fell to a block kick field goal as time expired. Geno Smith's 3 picks hurt. He's had a tough start to the season. Some tricky road games against Indy and Kansas City loom large. This team is teetering all of a sudden. Number 29, the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill's major knee injury overshadowed Miami's first win of the season against the Jets on Monday. The defense pressured Justin Fields, and Darren Waller stepped up, 2 TDs and a recovered onside kick. Miami may have capitalized on the Jets' mistakes, but they face uncertainty with Hill's situation. Number 30, the New York Jets. Their self-inflicted wounds, 2 fumbles, a kickoff miscue, penalties, sank them even further against Miami. Justin Fields fought hard, but the offense and defense couldn't sink. At 0-4, Aaron Glenn's squad is still searching for answers. Number 31, the New Orleans Saints. Their best performance of the season came in a loss to Buffalo. Spencer Rattler, on his 25th birthday, really stood out, but he is now 0-10 as a starter in the NFL. Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller give some hope, and New Orleans could surprise someone soon with the way they're playing, but self-inflicted wounds persist. And in last place, the Tennessee Titans, number 32, their offense stalled again, not even running a play inside Houston's 23-yard line. Cam Ward struggled mightily, and the defense faded late with big plays allowed. Missed kicks and a new play caller didn't help. Hard to get much lower than where the Titans are right now.